Okay, we're going to wrap up page 4. That's going to be problem 18 and 19. Remember, we're working on an EOCT review for analytic geometry. Let's go. Problem number 18 deals with inscribed angles and that the arcs they intersect. Let's look at this circle. What is it trying to tell us? Well, it says if the measure of angle ACB is x, then the measure of the arc AB is 2x. Let's take this information and let's do a couple little problems here. In other words, if I know the measure of ACB is 14, then the measure of arc AB is twice as big, or in other words, is 28. Now let's turn this around. If I know the measure of arc AB is 46, then the measure of angle ACB is half, or it's 23. Let's look at another relationship with inscribed angles, but let's this time talk about a central angle. Look at the central angle drawn in blue and the inscribed angle drawn in red. Notice that they intersect the same arc. If this is true, look at the relationship. The inscribed angle is half of the central angle, and the central angle is twice as big as the inscribed angle. Don't forget that too. Let's look at another circle. Circle C. All right. I want you to notice that segment or chord OB is the diameter, isn't it? It's going right through the center of the circle. All right. Let's see what we know. Well, it says if the measure of angle AOB is 20, what can we conclude? Then the measure of arc AB, twice as big, right, is 40. Now we have a diameter there, right? So that means if the measure of arc OAB has to be 180. Well, if we know that, then we can come in and say then the measure of arc OA is 140, because the two smaller arcs have to add up to 180. All right, another problem. Now this is where we're going with this. Notice we're given an inscribed angle. We're also given a diameter there, right? Now we're given part of the arc of the circle, but it doesn't have anything to do with the inscribed angle. How are we going to do this? Well, let's look at this. First of all, if the measure of arc CT is 56, wait a minute, we have the diameter. We know that the measure of arc CTA is 180. We should be able to find the measure of arc AT, and yes it is. We just have to take 180 and subtract 56, and what do we get? 124. Good. Now that we know that, we take half of it and we can conclude that the measure of angle ACT is 62, and therefore X is 62 degrees. Great. Bye guys. Stop and do problem 18 on your worksheet. Alright, problem 19. Let's just talk about some stuff. Where did pi come from? What does it mean? I know that most of you know that pi is equal to 3.14 yada yada yada. It goes on forever, okay? It never stops. But where do we find pi? Well, let's look at this formula. This is for circumference. Circumference equals the diameter times pi. Sometimes we see this as circumference equals 2r pi. But what is two radiuses? diameter. Let's rewrite this. I'm going to divide both sides by d. What does that give me? It says pi is equal to the circumference divided by the diameter. Is this true of every circle out there? Yes. A little tiny circle? Yes. A circle that orbits the sun? Yes. I don't care how big the circle is. If you take the circumference and you divide it by the diameter, we have this ratio, and we call it pi. Bye, guys. Oh, do problem number 19 on your worksheet. Now I'm going to say goodbye.